titled Save Me. Alright, this is Little Prince right here with the Prince Report, reporting quartet and gospel news for you, giving it to you just how you like it, right here with the news. I want to send a great big shout out to you, and you. I'll see you next time, right here with the Prince Report. I'm out of here.
All right, y'all. That was Little Prince right here in the Midnight Love Garden with mzkoko Bowden. Actually, I skipped right over. All right, so y'all, tonight's relationship 411 is slow down, baby. You're moving too fast. We find ourselves sometimes as women and men, we get a little excited when we first meet someone and we want to start calling them, all kind of little poochie coochie names, Oh God. But we want to start calling them all kind of love names, but yet we don't even know who we're with. So our relationship 411 is just slow down. What are you rushing for? A lot of times, people who want to move very quickly, it usually means that it's not going to last too long and that somehow some sexual tension is in there, which isn't good because we all know anytime that you have, sex quick like that, chances are that's all it is a one night stand or a booty call, or the only time they will respect you is during sex. And you don't want to have a relationship that's based only on sex, and you don't want to be having sex anyway if you're not married. So my relationship 411 has to deal with just slowing down. You may have just came out of a bad relationship, or maybe the other person came out of a bad relationship and you yet don't know who you are if you're just coming out these bad relationships. And yes, it's good to know exactly what you want and who you want. But at the same time, you don't want to rush yourself. Oh, hold up just a minute, y'all. I lost my notes. mzkoko did. But at the same time, you don't want to rush yourself. You want to first be able to at least identify with the relationship. You know what I'm saying? You want to know what type of relationship is this. And if you're just jumping head over heels into something quick, you won't never understand what kind of relationship it is. Because I'll tell you, I was in a relationship and I didn't take time to know what I wanted, what he wanted. And we just had this big old mess. So it's best to always slow down. Here are some things that you should consider before moving too quickly in a relationship. First, you should identify what makes you comfortable or what makes your partner uncomfortable. Identify the things that make you comfortable and uncomfortable. If you want to slow a relationship down, you need to understand why it's going too fast. So you have to look at that, and you have to be the judge of that on your own, because you might feel the need to keep your partner in check. Perhaps your partner wants to escalate the physical side of the relationship, but you aren't comfortable doing so. Maybe he or she is demanding commitments that you can't keep. I mean, I have been like that before. I've been in the position where someone was ready to commit and I wasn't ready. So, you need to keep that honest. If you're not ready to commit, by all means, don't commit just because someone is saying a few little cute words to you. And another thing too is, if you notice that someone is falling head over heels for you, just slow them down easy. Don't try to rush it or hurt their feelings or anything, but you might have to just speak up and be honest with them. And let them know, hey, just slow down a minute. I ain't caught up with you yet. I ain't quite there with you yet. Figure out the situations that trigger these emotions, and feelings. And notice the specific actions or situations that do make you feel uncomfortable. Look for patterns and, try to understand why this person is having these thoughts and stuff. Another thing that you can do whenever you feel like the relationship is moving too fast is identify your relationship goals. Evaluate your goals for the relationship. Your goals for personal growth and your goals for the future, consider whether this relationship is pushing you against your goals, and ask yourself whether the imbalance is something that you'll be able to resolve. Understand that you may not be compatible. If your partner wants something different than you, it doesn't mean they're a bad person either. It may just mean that you don't have the same goals. So consider if it's worth building a relationship despite having differences. Sometimes we just jump too quick, and I may be getting ready to go one way and he going another way, so we're not going to be able to pull together. We're not going to be able to get on the one accord, because he may be, like I said, I may be trying to go back to school. I may be more focused on my career than having a relationship, in which at this time I am. So, and the guy may be more focused in, like really seriously going out and probably trying to do some nasty stuff. But you have to really consider that. Take in consideration where you're at in life right now. Where are you at? Is this the time that you're really trying to get in a relationship, or you just want the compassion? Compassion, it's okay to be compassion, have compassion for others, but you don't want to tie yourself down if this isn't something that your heart is in. Because in the end, what happens if you don't speak up and talk about it and be honest with your partner about how you feel, what's going to end up happening is somebody's heart is going to get broken. Somebody is going to be disappointed. If you don't speak up and tell the honest truth about it. Communication is the first thing that you always need to do in a relationship. And, I just tell guys up front, I'm not a bad looking woman. Not a bad looking woman at all. And I know I have a lot of guys that hit on me. Not saying I'm a Queen Sheba or anything like that, but I'm a fairly nice average woman, and I'm simple at that. So I'm not a complicated woman, but at the same time, I know what I want. I know where my focus is. I know what goals I want to achieve. And relationship goals may not be in that list of goals. So if that's not you, then speak up at the beginning so that the person knows that, hey, we may go out on a couple of dates, but that doesn't mean that we're headed into a relationship. I like you as a friend, but right now I can't afford to have a lover, for the simple fact is that I'm more concentrating on myself right now. There's some things I need to get together. And most of the time too, when people want to rush into relationships, they don't consider the financial aspects of things. Maybe one isn't financially stable. And I'm not saying go by the money, but I'm saying if you're not financially stable, off the gate that you're going to have some trouble. If your living situations aren't good and stable, then off the gate you're going to be having some trouble, because you're going to always be stressing your partner out about, you're going to be texting them and calling them about little things such as, I can't get the room to myself. They got the TV up too loud. The little things that you think you don't do that are annoying. Yes, very annoying to have somebody just texting you to say, well, it's too many people in this room. I can't get no rest. That may be stressful to your other partner that's really freely living because they're on their own. So see, you got to consider your living situations and all that stuff before you start trying to go and develop into a deep relationship. And the last thing, you need to really make sure that you're on the same page. Two people don't necessarily come into a relationship with the same expectations. Your partner might not even realize that she's making you feel uncomfortable, or he may not realize that he's making you feel uncomfortable. You may find that you have been living in two separate realities, each making moves and choices that are just really not cool for one another. It's not really reality. Sometimes we live in fantasy worlds, which make us, our fantasy worlds will have someone loving us like we are princes and kings. And in the head, and in reality, it be It ain't none of that. In reality, it could be a trashy relationship. So the quickest way to fix this is to establish a mutual understanding of where the relationship is going. Don't try to force it. If you can't see eye to eye, it may be time to leave. It just isn't fair to force someone to be in a relationship knowing that they're going to lose themselves in that relationship. And, sometimes you need to step back and focus on yourself. Instead of trying to push a relationship on somebody, just step back and start focusing on yourself. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to find out that you didn't really want that relationship either. You was just lonely. Yeah, you was just lonely. You just needed something to do for the moment. You needed someone to hold you for the moment. You needed someone to talk to for the moment. And then once you get to spending time with yourself, you may discover that you're still holding on to some old stuff inside of you that's making you feel lonely. Because, whenever you hold on to those grudges and stuff and bitterness, you can't feel whole like that. So my relationship 411 is slow down. Before you call that chick bae or you call that dude bae, slow down. Before you start giving the nicknames and all that stuff, slow down and see where each other's at. It doesn't mean that you don't like each other. It just means you need to slow down and define what type of relationship that you're both looking for. Now, listen, y'all know 411, I keep it real. There are some people that do just want a booty call. And I can't tell y'all what to do. I can't tell you to say yes or no because you're adults and you know. But understand, if you just fall for the relationship with just the booty call, understand when you start getting attached that and that person no longer wants to be with you like that, understand that's going to be disappointment and hurt that you could have avoided if you would have just slowed down, took the time to pray and ask God, is this relationship for me? God, which way do I need to go? God, help me to speak to this other person. Or the other person could have spoke up and said, look, we're moving too fast. We got to slow this down. I've been in a relationship like that before where I was moving too fast. I even wrote a song about it. I thought it was cute. I wrote a song about it. And the song was like, if I'm moving too fast, then I'll slow down and wait for you. And then the other part was, if you're moving too fast, then you slow down and wait for me. But reality is that was just a song. And that's not how things ended. How it ended was we just ended up stopped seeing each other. So you have to really just be honest with one another. I'm pretty sure if you be honest with one another, you still can remain friends. All right, y'all? All right, so I'm going to play this song next, y'all. Since we're out of the relationship 411, first all I want to say there's a lot of people that have died and passed on in this week alone and last week since New Year's in 2018. My cousin was killed. My cousin passed. He was killed, but he passed yesterday. His name is Pookie Moore. And, that family, the Moore family is like Teen Moore and Bill Moore is like my second set of parents. They grew up right here in front of me, neighbors, They always fed us and stuff as little kids and would do stuff with us. And, all their children was like our brothers and sisters. We were like their little brothers and sisters, just everybody playing and having a good time. We all grew up and we still speak, and have a good conversation when we see each other. So my heart and my thoughts and prayers, and my voice getting shaky on that, my thoughts and prayers go out to my family, the Moore family over in Belford, North Carolina. Also, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Queen of Blues, Denise LaSalle. That's my sweetheart. And to my blues brother, Robert Brown. I know you're hurting, but God doesn't make mistakes, y'all. And also to our neighborhood man. We called him the neighborhood man. His name is Shelton. He passed away also. And the legendary lead guitar player for Divine Spirituals, and also God's Anointed Messengers. He played for my group, God's Anointed Messengers, for so many years, over 25 years. He passed away on yesterday as well. So my heart, thoughts, and prayers go out to everyone. And, let me just go ahead and say a prayer. Lord, Father God, in the name of Jesus, I ask that you bring comfort to every heart tonight that is in mourning. Lord, I ask that you touch everybody